Hi, everybody. It's Rob again from Insurance Made Simple, helping to simplify life insurance for you and for your family. As an insurance advisor, I often talk about protecting yourself and your family from the what ifs in life, those things that you can never predict. They just happen. You don't seem to ever seem to see them coming. They just happen. And how do you protect yourself from those things? Well, we talk about life insurance and how that can help with the financial aspect of it. But the one thing that we really don't speak to is the emotional aspect of what happens, how you deal with that, how you get on with life after something tragic has happened to you and to your family. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Di. Now, as you'll hear, Di is Australian, and she has a successful coaching and consulting business in Australia and also here in Canada. When Di was in her early 20s, her husband became ill and passed away of a heart condition, leaving her with two small children, one 2 and one 3 months old. And Di speaks to how life insurance enabled her to get on and heal and provide for her daughters and create a new life for herself with her new reality. And so I'd like you to hear a little bit about what Di has to say about how life insurance helped her get over a very trying time in her life.
I cannot even begin to imagine how my life would have been had we not had that. As it got, he'd been sick for 6 months, and like I said, we lived from pay to pay. So then he'd been on sickness benefits for 6 months. I wasn't working because I had a baby in the middle of it all. So the baby was 6 months old 3 months old when he died, and I had a 2-year-old. Now, we had nothing behind us. We had a mortgage that we'd only just moved into before he got sick. It was a pretty rugged 6 months of open heart surgeries and back and forth. We were in the country, 3 hours from the city hospital. So yeah, it was but it's interesting when you say it must have been hard. I mean, we just do it, but my goodness, if if after he died I hadn't had that financial support, like I said, I can't imagine how I would have pulled up physically and emotionally myself. There's just so much to deal with that you don't think about on this side of it, do you know? Because you're doing all you
Exactly.
can just to keep your head above water. It's a feeling I can't even describe, but I remember it well. Um, but the intensity of the feeling of loss, for people that have never had it, you can't imagine how you're going to feel and how you're going to respond. And so I always say to people, the money is the easy part to sort now. Get it done, because you're going to have plenty of things to deal with if something was to go wrong. And like you just said, I remember the day our lives turned. Like, we were traveling along almost clockwork, and the day that he got sick, life turned on a dime and it was never the same. So, yeah, like you said, you don't get a warning often. Often it's very quick. So I'm telling you, that is worth every cent for the peace of mind to know that if you ever need it, it's there. That alone is worth the money. And I'm telling you, receiving that money, and I'd forgotten about it. Like, when you've got someone who's ill and then they pass away, you're not actually thinking too much about anything practical. It's very emotional. And so when that money came, I actually remember them saying, here's the money. And I was very unemotional. I remember looking at it thinking, that's not bringing him back. But being able to put it into use, my goodness, it just gave me some time, and some peace of mind to be able to just be and just let myself, you know, get better and stronger and get back into life. This is a real life situation, and I was so grateful for the finance that I received. So yeah, my life would have been very, very different without it, and the lives of my children, and also my family. I think about my parents. Mum owned a business and couldn't come and spend days with me. Um, it would have been awkward to have gone back home and lived there. It would have been so disruptive for everybody. So I wanted my independence too. Like, I didn't want to go back home and be living with my parents, with my own children there. So life insurance is a no-brainer. People, I think it almost should be mandatory that people have to, because death death is a real thing. It's like, people, this is going to happen eventually. You're just hedging your bets as to whether you'll be the one going or you'll be the one left, you know?